Shout out to audience member and supporter of the channel, Everborn. He sent me this DM with Colin Moriarty's video on Steam on Xbox, and he says it makes absolutely no sense in parentheses for Xbox anyway. Now, there had to be that caveat because if this becomes a thing, it will make absolute sense for the consumer. Every single consumer that is playing on a console would basically have this be the prime device that they actually need to go ahead and get. I'll play a little bit of the video. It's 10 minutes and 50 seconds long, and I've listened to just this much about the first 2 minutes because at first I was like, well, I wonder what, he's going to be going at here. But within the first 2 minutes, he already answered the question that this is going to be, if it works, if it's a thing, the best thing for consumers. Now, here's the crazy part. I have not even gotten comfortable, and many Xbox players will tell you this that watch the Video Game Fight School channel. I'm not yet comfortable as to how this is going to happen and how Xbox is going to make it work. I really am not. In fact, what I'm thinking to myself is, I know they've done the Play Anywhere with the software in terms of letting you be able to get 2 versions of any single individual game that you buy. But I'm going like, are they crazy enough to do something like that with the hardware? I don't know. Think about it this way. Imagine if you were on PlayStation, right? And when you bought, say, Marvel Spider-Man 2, PlayStation said, hey, here's the PC version of the game. You can also have that also for free. Can you imagine PlayStation ever doing anything like that? Or you bought God of War Ragnarok, right? Well, here's the console version of the game, and here's the PC version as well. Go play Ragnarok wherever you want. Play it in 4K widescreen, ultra wide, 6,000 FPS if your hardware can support it and all the above. But Xbox is doing that with basically any game that you buy on their storefront, be it via Xbox console or via the PC side. In fact, there's one other benefit, which is also cloud gaming. So not only are you getting the games in one and 2 formats, if they're Xbox games, guaranteed, you're getting them via cloud. This opens up the possibilities for the best benefit for the console user and even for the PC gamer or for whoever wants to make their shift and their transition from console to PC. Now, with the PC side, adding another launcher for you on your, native Xbox hardware, what that could say is it could signal to the PC gamer and said, okay, you like what we're doing with Game Pass. Now, I think this hardware is basically targeted in a sense more for people like me. It's weird, but you just hear me out. And I'm the person that's telling you, I don't even see how they're going to do it. They say, all right, VG, you're being an idiot. You like Steam. You like hardware. You have 6 gazillion, bouts of computing power that's sucking all your energy in your house. How about we give you one device that can do everything? And I'm like, how do you mean? They're like, what if that Xbox console dev kit that you have that's sitting, gathering dust sometimes until when you want to maybe use it sometimes. How about we give you Steam on a version of that console so that everything you're enjoying on the Xbox ecosystem, you can simply just go ahead and swap to the things that you've already been doing on Steam, the library that you've already built. And by the way, not only did you build a Steam library, remember you built an Epic Games library, right? And I'm like, yes, 70 games or so that you don't want to buy anymore. How about you come around and hang out and you keep all those libraries on this one device that is yours? And I'm like, well, what are the terms? So you're giving me an open system? I'm not going to have too much of an argument with it. Now, I'm not saying I'll buy it, but I'm not going to be able to argue against it. Now, think about this, and I'm thinking about this from my perspective. Now, if you've been playing on the console, your perspective would have to differ. But I'm sure some console players would love it. Let's get to the video. That was a 4-minute preface. Goodness gracious.
Rumor has been circulating recently, one that's frankly deeply perplexed me, and one that I think needs to be aired out a little more. The rumor is as follows. Microsoft, in an attempt to keep Xbox alive and relevant for at least one more console generation as a functioning hardware ecosystem, is going to pursue a more open-ended machine that would, amongst other functionality, allow players to load all...
Colin, don't let innovation bypass you. For one more console generation, he said, while also talking about an open-ended system. Do you not see that if the system is open-ended, that its generationality basically transcends any singular console generation, because that's exactly what Steam has been able to offer to folk like us. I can play Shadow of Mordor, this device that is sitting on right now. Okay? When I played Shadow of Mordor, first time it was on a PlayStation 4. Now, I can play the game running it on, what's the GPU? Let me show you myself. This is what PC does on an RTX 4080 and multi-core CPU capability if I really wanted to go crazy. Right? I am not bound by generational anything. So, Colin, you need to be very careful how you assess this, because this is a play that might be built on four-dimensional underwater chess that even I myself, I'm questioning, but you got to be careful about that.
Alternate storefronts like Steam and their external libraries therein. It's true that this may very well come to pass. The sources that are reporting on this, the likes of friend of Last Stand Jez Corden, are typically quite reliable. But I can't help but ask a simple question, one that I feel like no one else is actually pursuing. How does running Steam on Xbox help Xbox? Indeed, doesn't that actively hurt and hinder Xbox?
No, not anymore. After giving it some thought, I've not concluded that Xbox is going to do it. Don't go out there quoting me. I have, however, concluded that this will alleviate a lot of challenges that Xbox would face. And again, just listen very carefully. There are a number of titles that never carried themselves into the current Xbox generation, because many of them, regardless of how much they try to do backward compatibility, these games still belong to their respective publishers and developers. However, including those that were money-hatted too, that never made their way out there. However, if they do this, they don't have to worry about you worrying about, the 60 FPS version of the Arkham games that Warner Brothers doesn't even seem interested in doing. Or the fact that you never got to play this game in the PS3 days, but it exists on PC. Xbox is opening the door to an entirely different library to you. Not just their own games. You already have access to their games. Now they want to present you with the hardware that now gives you access to more games that you traditionally don't have, and even games that PlayStation players traditionally don't have. Has anybody ever considered that there are a ton of games that are not available on the PS5 that are actually on other PC launchers? If anybody considers that, then I think they start seeing it. I'm starting to see it. At first, I wasn't.
Seriously, think about it. Don't just rush off to the comments to whine. That's far too predictable.
I read the comments, and some people are actually saying, this person says, somebody said something about it being something that should pertain to the consumer, and we shouldn't be bothered about it.
Instead, truly ponder the issue. If Xbox runs Steam, how does Xbox make any money? If your next Xbox is a bona fide Steam machine, isn't that effectively the actual end of the entire Xbox ecosystem?
No. Your Xbox, why would he call it a modified Steam machine? A Steam machine is basically you to go ahead and modify your own hardware. But Steam as an app can run on Windows. That's what needs to be taken into account here. If you have access to a different library that the other console does not have access to, they've added a functionality on their platform that is more appealing to the other platform. And as the other platformer started putting its games on, bro, this is a chess move. I'm having a wake up moment while doing a reaction to this video. I never really got the chance to think about this. Oh my gosh.
If you were given the choice of buying games on Steam and Xbox, which share virtually identical libraries when it comes to thousands of important titles.
It's not virtually identical. That is a critical error. I just showed you guys that the current Xbox is not the same shared library, because there are many more games that are available via cross-generation, which on PC side, there is no such thing as generational. Like, you can literally play Vampire's Bloodline, The Masquerade. Now, the Steam version is weird. I think it's the one that had some issues at some point. But you can go play the good old games version of a game like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, old classic title, right? That did not make its way to the new generation of consoles because it's stuck with, in fact, it belongs to Activision. Interesting, I didn't even know that. Activision was a publisher. It may belong to Troika Games. I think it belongs to these folk, and Activision published it. Or maybe it is one of those Activision games. Perhaps maybe they might not be able to go ahead and even port it, or they probably don't want to deal with all of these, classic games, and they just leave that burden to the Steam launcher. You get in there, you pick up all these games on a dime, classic titles, just sitting there waiting for you. Maybe you had a disc for them back in your your PS3, Xbox 360 days, right? And now you have a digital version of it that you can pretty much manipulate as you want. Oh, no. They don't have identical libraries. I'm sorry. That's not true. They don't even have somewhat identical libraries because they're, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not even close. And this is a critical error that Xbox made. They made their platforms so different from one another that when it came out to now starting to do backward compatibility, it became an entire job. If they had just made a Windows-based system all these years, you would have been able to play things as old as Commandos, the first iteration on your Xbox Series SX 360 with no problems.
But with one ecosystem far larger and more prodigious sucking all of the oxygen out of the room, how does Xbox benefit?
Well, you just said it was basically virtual libraries, far more prodigious.
The answer is simple. It doesn't. So why are so many people cheering this, Xbox fans specifically?
How do you mean it doesn't make any money? If Steam is where it is right now, anybody ever thought about this? And I think this video should be over already by now. Steam is where it is making money doing what it's doing, right? Anybody who wants to go ahead and buy a game on Steam will go build a PC to buy a game on Steam. They will basically jump bigger hurdles to go and buy their game on Steam. No problem. If they want to buy Xbox games on Steam, they will jump and skip. Many PC players don't even use the Xbox launcher on PC. They just laugh and say, get the heck out of here. They go straight to Steam. No problem. Right? So whether or not the Steam launcher is put on Xbox or not, people that are gonna go to Steam are gonna go to Steam. Do you feel me? But Xbox is saying, we can get you to Steam. You don't want to build you've been told that you need to build a $2,000. Now, this is for the console player's perspective. You've been told that you need to build a $2,000 PC, right? Which I've always told you that that's a big bunch of fugazi. If Xbox does this, I'm coming after those arguments, especially those of you that were saying that from the PlayStation and Xbox side. Y'all are going to hear from me, but that's a different story. God willing, nothing crazy happens, but if they do it and then y'all are playing Steam games on your Xbox, I'm going to be wagging my finger going, but you told me then, that you needed to go to the... Okay, let's just...
Honestly, I don't get it. It's like rooting for your own demise.
No, who's going to die? Bro, it's a consumer-friendly move. Chill. Your own demise. This is console fanboyism. People are going to die because Xbox is going to... Because if Xbox imploded right now because of that move, let's say you launch a Steam launcher and the hardware basically shattered into a million pieces, no human being, should die from anything other than the impact of that explosion.
Video game consoles are hardly anything new, and indeed, the original consoles, your Magnavox Odysseys, for instance, are over 50 years old now. It's kind of crazy to consider. But from the very beginning, consoles with interchangeable cartridges and later discs and now download packages were only ever sold for one reason, and one reason only: to push as many games as possible to consumers, and later peripherals too, and these days subscriptions and microtransactions and so much more. But the point is, a console was never a one-off sale. By design, it couldn't be. Rather, it was an investment for both sides, for the company selling it and the person buying it, as their relationship was really just beginning. Selling only a console to a consumer and nothing else would have been like selling a VCR or DVD player to someone but never a tape or disc.
Isn't that what we've been talking about with PlayStation? How they've been selling hardware and their first-party sales are basically continuing to dwindle? Steam hardly sells hardware, or hardly used to sell hardware, and then the Steam Deck became a phenomenon. But before then, they had been making serious amounts of money. Has anybody ever considered what Steam actually has or does? Xbox wants to be the next Steam. Because you can sell a hardware as a loss leader, but at the end of the day, you need to be able to give your customers something more to make them stay on your platform or keep buying your hardware. Man, guys, I apologize to all the Xbox fans who told me that this was going to basically be a big deal. I did not see it. I could not see it. I'm seeing it now. It's weird. Like I'm sitting here like this moment and it's literally unfolding in front of me. Oh my goodness.
This wouldn't only rapidly result in a net loss for many manufacturers over the decades, especially early in respective generations, it also constitutes a commercial dead end. The entire notion of selling consoles was fostering years-long economic interactions, keeping hardware in your entertainment center for hopefully a long time to come, grinding away at your wallet and making back profit over time. This metric used to be primarily measured by statistics like attach rate. For instance, my favorite console of all time, the NES, first launched in the American market in 1985 for $200.
All right, all this is just exposition, bro. Like, to be very honest, ladies and gentlemen, this is all exposition. Like I said, the video should have been over within the first 2 minutes once you started to actually think about it. And if we go back to the point of saying, well, what's the point of selling this? The Xbox is not sitting there dying because it doesn't have console sales. I made the video yesterday, and I'm going to do this chart, and then we're going to stop the video. That's it. It's so, like this. I don't need to watch anymore at this moment to draw conclusions that if this happens, what will be the viability? It's that simple. Xbox has already basically put the console market in its own small little place. I told y'all, consider Xbox being, say, a table of some sort that requires multiple legs to stand on. If it needs multiple legs to stand on, right? Xbox has basically found ways to use everything else to create multiple extra, in quote, legs for its own ecosystem to stand on. The red will be Nintendo. It sells software to them via their hardware. There will be a blue one. Let's do the Steam Blue. If we can get that Steam Blue going, that deep, dark blue that they have over there, Valve. My color, yeah, this is the Steam Blue. It sells its games on Steam. Let's do the PlayStation Blue, Orb Blue. It sells its games on PlayStation. It's got legs there. Let's do Xbox console, which would be green, so it has a leg in the middle that it's standing on. Let's add another leg that we call mobile. Let's make that yellow. It has another leg that it's standing on, right? That actually creates a crisscross. Let's do purple. Let's do the sky, this very light blue as cloud. It got another leg that it's standing on. So Xbox is no longer bound to its console. However, if Xbox wants to now appeal to people to come to its console, it has to do something extraordinary. And if it does something extraordinary and brings the Steam ecosystem to you, where you now have access to games that you never did have, I think they make a case for you to buy their hardware. If it's something that they do. Because they're not worried anymore that their consoles aren't going to bring them all this crazy money. They still have Game Pass. Has anybody seen how much they make on Game Pass subscriptions on the console alone? It's still a better value than Steam. There are people who actually are PC gamers. I'm talking not just me. Y'all just because you read my comment section. There are PC gamers that are like, bro, I cannot believe that Xbox is doing this, man. And they're Game Pass subscribers because the Game Pass PC subscription, it's actually less expensive than the Game Pass console one. So if you want from your Xbox, if this is a thing, you can go into your Windows side. If they give you a Windows layer, I don't know if they will. You can go into your Windows layer and be a Game Pass PC subscriber. They're not going to be mad. They won't. They really will not be mad. I don't think they will be. Why would they be mad? When they're eating money on cloud and eating money on mobile and making money on PlayStation and everybody else. Did I draw the PlayStation pillar? Oh, yeah, this one here. So this is a no-brainer when it comes to this video right now as to how this actually profits Xbox. Bringing more people into their ecosystem? Oh, man. MAUs and conversions all over the place. I'll watch the rest of the video, but I'm not certain that I'm going to be able to find any conclusion because I just arrived at my conclusions in terms of how this is going to work. Now, I don't know if they're going to do it, but man, this absolutely works for Xbox. It does. It does. It's insane, but it's weird. But if they've done Play Anywhere as a precedence to giving more to the consumer, this is not out of the question for them giving more to the consumer on the hardware side. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you all so much. Chat with me in the comment section. Peace out.